Hi everyone, I'm Allie with Potomac Beads. Join me in creating the Crystal Kiss Bracelet. We're going to be using some diamond duos and crystals as well as 2-hole bars. So check out the materials that were listed first or hit the show more button and the shop online to order your beads and your materials from PotomacBeads.com as well as PotomacBeads.eu. Join me in making this fun bracelet. So to begin, we have my sample piece here that I actually had some help designing. So thank you to those that were watching on Twitch, another social media outlet that you can watch live as I go through and kind of create the YouTube videos. And I worked with kind of making it more minimalistic or keeping it a little bit more interesting. And to start out, we are going to be using 2 needles. And I have a wire guard here ready to go. I'm going to put the wire guard onto one of my needles, doesn't matter right or left, and then we're going to use a button for this. If you do have a different style clasp that you want to use, you can do that right now. You could make a loop right now, you can add a button, you can add a metallic clasp and a magnetic clasp, up to you. After you have on your wire guard or your wire protector, go ahead and put your button on one side of your needle and let that drop down to the clasp. We will be reinforcing this clasp by going back when we come back down the other side. So don't worry, we're not just leaving it with one piece there. We will be coming back down the side. Coming out the actual end here, you want to make sure that both of your threads are equal. So if you kind of see me there in the corner, hold up both of your threads and make sure that they are equal on each side. Bringing it down then back to my mat, I have my diamond duos in the coral lumi. I have my 2-hole bars in the dark bronze, and then I have the black bronze in the 15-0 as well as the lava red in the 15-0. To begin, I want to add 3 of my lava red beads to each of my needles, right and left. And let those drop down next to the clasp. Because we are working with 2 needles, you want to think that anything you do with one needle, the right or the left, you're pretty much going to do the same thing with the other side as well. We're going to begin our design with our actual bars. And the first thing you're going to do is, again, doesn't matter right or left needle, you're going to pick up 2 bars and sew through 2 bars. I'm holding them in my hand, and then with my other needle, I'm going to also sew through those 2 bars with the threaded needle going in the opposite direction. So the one needle went from the right side to the left side, and the other needle went from the left to the right. Go ahead then and pull down on the actual thread, and that's going to get your 2-hole bars right in position. On the side of the 2-hole bars, we are always going to be using the lava red seed beads. So what I want to do to begin is take 3 lava red seed beads and put them on the right needle and sew through the bar from the outside hole to the upper hole, and we're going to come out in the middle between the 2 bars. Doing that on the left or right side, we're also going to do that on the left side. So go ahead and pick up 3 of your 15s and add them in. Again, this is going to be a repeated thing where we do this to kind of decorate the outside of the bars. From here, we're going to go in and place our diamond duos. So the diamond duos are going to sit in an actual diamond formation along the piece. And we're going to take the diamond duos and make sure that they're all sitting upright, meaning because they are 2-sided, they have one side that has a faceted look to it and another side that doesn't. You want to make sure that they're all kind of sitting. If you want to build the triangle or the diamond rather ahead of time, you can do that. Kind of build it, and then you can take your needles and slide right through. I have one needle that's going to go through the right-hand side of one diamond duo, the left-hand side of another, and then the right-hand side of a third. The left needle is going to go through the left-hand side of one diamond duo, the right-hand side, and then the left of the third. Pulling the needles down then along the piece, that's going to get that diamond of diamond duos in. At this point, you want to give a nice tight pull to make sure that you don't see any extra thread showing between your bars and near your 15-0s. On the opposite side of the diamond duos, we're going to come out and repeat that bar pattern. So the bar pattern to repeat is that we're going to be going into 2 bars. On my right-hand needle, I have 1 bar. I'm going to then add 3 15s in that lava color and go through the second hole of the bar. With the left needle, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I want you to add your bar, pick up 3 lava red seed beads, and then sew back through the second hole of the bar. When you're sewing back through the second hole of the bar, at the same time, since you have your left needle in your hand, go ahead and sew through the opposite bar coming out near the seed beads, through that second hole. Now the other needle I'm gonna pick up, and I'm gonna sew through the bar that my thread just came out of. So the left-hand bar there. Go ahead and pull your thread. And then when you pull down nice and tightly, those 2-hole bars will sit right at the end of that diamond duo. You wanna make sure when you're doing this that you are coming right out of the bars and that you're not coming out of any of the seed beads that you added along the sides. So now you have your first diamond formation. We're going to be repeating this a number of times to make the bracelet as long as you need it to be. If you need it to be 7 inches, go ahead and do about 6 3/4 inches. We'll get a little bit more space when we do the loop for the clasp. Prior to starting, what you're gonna do is pick up 3 of your 15s in the black bronze color on both the right needle and that left needle. So go ahead and pick up 3 of the black bronze. And then we're gonna go in and create another V with our 2-hole bars. So here then I have those 3 15s. Go ahead and put on 2 of your 2-hole bars. Go through 2 of those 2-hole bars with the needle going from the right to the left. Take the left-hand needle and go from the left to the right. Pull those down against your project. And now we get to repeat. So to repeat again, just take your 3 15s, decorate the outside of the bar so we don't see any thread, and go from the bottom hole to the top hole, coming out with your needles between the 2 bars. I did it on the right. I'll do the same thing on the left, and then I'll go in and add my 4 set of diamond duos into that diamond pattern. When we get to the point that we are done with our last set of bars, we are going to go in and do our loop for our button on the other side. And I'm coming out of my last bar, and just as if I would be adding 3 seed beads on each side and then crisscrossing through my next set of bars, I'm going to switch and add my 3 in my bronze on the right-hand side. I'm going to pick up 1 of my crystals in that 2mm color with that same needle. And then what I'm going to do is pick up a bunch of the bronze colored beads here. And when I say a bunch, I'm thinking about 34 should do the trick. I want enough that I can make it happen for the loop to go around my button. And what you can do also, if you have a wire guard and you have a metal clasp, you would put that on now as well. You could also alternate colors. You could add some crystals into the loop. That's up to you. I'm actually going to have to pour out a couple more of my bronze color here. Get a couple more in that loop. After I have on the appropriate amount to go around my button on this side, what I am going to do is go back through that 2mm crystal. By going back through that 2mm crystal, that'll bring the seed beads into a loop. And then we're going to reinforce by taking the other needle that I'm currently not holding and go through all of these seed beads the opposite direction. So just like we've been kind of crisscrossing through those 2-hole bars, we're going to be doing the same thing through all of these seed beads that are part of my loop. From here, again, down through the 2mm, and then let this needle hang out. The needle on the other side, go ahead and pick up 3 of the black bronze just like we did, and then up through that crystal and around the loop. Once you come around the loop, you're going to come back through that 3mm bead, and that's where we'll pick up getting ready to add the exterior onto our diamond duo second hole and our crystal kissing in the middle. So what I want to do now is come down the side, and I did this right side just so you could see it a little bit. I'm going to flip it here so I can sew away from me, and I'm going to do the right side. We're putting in some 2mm crystals and our 15s. So I'm going to go down through, or I should say back through, those 3 bronze beads on the right-hand side, as well as the 3 15-0 seed beads, and out. The pattern here is going to be very repetitive. We're always going through this 3 seed beads on both the red sides. So all those lava reds you're going through. You're going to put on 2 15s, 1 of your 2mm crystals, and then 1 15. And I'm using the black bronze color for this. And I'm going through the second hole, or the open hole of that diamond duo on the exterior. Getting another little crystal kiss in there. We're going to do 1 15, 1 crystal, 2 15s, and then you're coming down the 3 seed beads in that lava red color. What I want to do then, in addition to going down through those 3 seed beads, on the left-hand side you can see I came out the first of that dark bronze, that black bronze seed beads. I'm going to come out the first seed bead. Just like we were doing when we crisscrossed through the bars, we're going to pick up 1 of our crystals, and it's going to sit nestled right in the middle. So I have the crystal on my right-hand needle. I'm going to go over to and cross over to the left-hand side, going up through the last black bronze bead, and then up through the 3 lava reds. So you may need to kind of play with it a little bit for you to get in there and crisscross. So basically the needle that was on the right is coming out the first black bronze, you add a crystal, and then you're going through the left-hand side, last black bronze, and out. To make it sit correctly, the needle that's on the left-hand side is now going to come to the right, going through that crystal, that same 2mm crystal, and then you're going to catch onto that 3rd black bronze bead on the right-hand side, and up through the 3 lava red. So again, you might have to kind of turn it, get through that black bronze. There's plenty of space. I'm using size 10 needles. And once you're through there and you're out through those 3 15-0s in the lava color, we are going to continue on with that 2 15s, then crystal, then 1 15 look. But I want to make sure after I crisscross through that crystal in the middle of that kiss, just to give a nice tight pull, because I don't want to see any of that thread. The crystal will just kind of disappear right in the middle. If you don't have a crystal, you can use a 6/0 seed bead, or you can use anything that's 2 to 3 millimeter. The 3 will get a little bit big, but it'll sit on top and still look nice. So now I'm continuing up the sides with that, again, pattern of 2 15s, 1 crystal, and then 1 15, and through the diamond duo on the right-hand side. So coming out after doing your last crystal rotation here, we're going to reinforce that clasp. So I have my last 15 crystal, 2 15s. I'm going up through those 3 seed beads, and kind of just like we did on the other side, going up through the 3 seed beads that sit right before the clasp. And if you don't have a wire guard, you could have just used some seed beads in that space too. I should have mentioned that at the start. And you're going up through the wire guard, going up through the button then. I'm going to take my thread and needle through that wire guard, through the other side of the wire guard, down through the button, and down through those 3 15-0 seed beads that sit right there at the end. Bringing the needle out then, my thread and needle ends are at the same spot. I'm just going to make sure that thread gets caught inside my wire guard and doesn't kind of hang out below it. And once I have that on there and in that nice tight spot, I'm going to give that a nice tight yank. And then because I can hide it pretty easily behind the button, I'm going to tie my knot here. So I'm doing right over left, left over right to do a square knot to hide the ends. I still have my needles on because I have plenty of thread with that 5 feet of thread. If you want to, it would also look nice if you add another crystal kind of hopping along the outside too. You could try that out. And once I have that knot done, I'm going to take one of the needle and threads, doesn't matter which one. So over through that 2-hole bar, bring that needle and thread out, and usually you can pull that knot a little bit into a bead. Take your thread burner or your thread zap, burn down the extra thread there, and your Crystal Kiss bracelet is finished. So you just go right into that thread in there, burn that down a tiny bit, and then because of the location of the button, you will not see that thread at all. And there you have it. Nice, simple, as Amber pointed out, that kiss, keep it simple. Stupid. That was kind of a lesson during that live when I was working on it and keeping it like it is. So you can see how the color can change it up a little bit. Again, you can change up the different colors of the Diamond Duo. You can change up the crystals so you see a little bit more of that bling in it. And really have fun, again, keeping it simple and doing this Crystal Kiss bracelet. Thanks so much for joining me in this simple Crystal Kiss bracelet. Remember, if you need any of the materials, below me in the description box near that like and subscribe button are the materials listed to shop now with us at PotomacBeads.com as well as PotomacBeads.eu. Remember, if you do hit that bell, subscribe to get our regular updates when we do new YouTube videos, have new products, as well as new Better Beader episodes to make you a better beader. As always, have fun beading, and thanks so much for watching.